This video is proudly sponsored by KJ Ketterling Enterprises and the Home Depot. What's going on, everyone? Vince the Engineer here. If you follow me on Instagram or TikTok, you might recall a strange experiment I did last summer that involved a Home Depot bucket and a sprinkler setup. I put out a few teaser clips leading up to the final video, and surprisingly, they received a combined total of over 1 million views. And the most common question in the comments was how to build this bucket. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I built this bucket, but I'm also going to discuss why I built it and share some really exciting news with you. So stay tuned. So let me give you a little bit of background on things. Last summer, I was showcasing a product called KAP-IT from a company, KJ Ketterling Enterprises. It's a relatively inexpensive product, about $10, that provides you with a no-dig solution to raise your sprinklers that have become buried over time. You see, when your sprinklers become buried, the stream of the sprinkler can be interrupted by the surrounding grass or plants, which ends up wasting water rather than using it for its intended irrigation purpose. So they sent me this tool, but I was like, I don't have an in-ground irrigation system. So I got creative and I came up with an idea of demonstrating how easy it works by using a Home Depot bucket I had laying around in my garage. I wanted to showcase how easy it was for anyone to install it. It literally goes together like Legos, and I think we were successful with showcasing that. In case you were unaware, KJ Ketterling offers quite a few solutions for the average person to enable them to repair their sprinklers and rotors without the help of a lawn care professional. Their full KA-IT lineup includes the KAP-IT, K-Lift-IT, Cut-IT, and K-Lock-IT. And we're founded on the concept of elevate, don't excavate. Speaking of elevating, I'm excited to announce that in honor of the first ever annual National Elevate Your Sprinkler Day, which is on April 2nd, the Home Depot and KJ Ketterling Enterprises have launched the KA-IT Bucket Challenge using the KAP-IT tool from KJ Ketterling. Through this challenge, KJ Ketterling and the Home Depot invite you to grow something you love in a bucket to demonstrate how adequate water flow can help the growth of your lawn, plants, flowers, or veggies. You can then repot or plant your veggies, or even transition them outside your yard when you're finished with the challenge. I'll be plotting some plants over the next few weeks, and then doing a live demonstration on the KAP-IT on March 30th on Zoom alongside Cody from KJ Ketterling and the Home Depot. We encourage you to join us and take the KA-IT Bucket Challenge. Anyone, anywhere can sign up for the challenge at www.elevateyoursprinkler.com. You'll also be able to see the shopping cart with all of the items you'll need to participate. All right, so let's get to building this bucket. Everything you need is right here in front of me. It's a very simple build, but you'll need a few things. I'll leave everything linked in the description down below. So first up, this is basically the general assembly of how this is going to go together. I have basically a Rainbird 1800 series sprinkler. We have a riser section. This is a threaded riser section that you can, cut off at sections to get the appropriate length. This was sold as a 6-inch riser, and I've cut it down a bit. Next up, we have our transition from 1/2-inch NPT thread to 3/4-inch PVC pipe. Now, you could do this a few ways. I did it this way because I just couldn't find the parts. But in my previous build, I was able to find a 3/4-inch PVC pipe to 1/2-inch NPT thread 90-degree bend. If you can find that, great. And then that brings us to our PVC pipe. This is just a short 6-inch piece of 3/4-inch PVC pipe. Then we have an adapter to go from 3/4-inch PVC pipe to 3/4-inch NPT thread, followed by our adapter to go from the 3/4-inch thread to the 3/4-inch hose thread. The hose thread is different. We're going to glue this all together using some pipe cement here, and then we'll assemble that in the bucket. We're going to set the height of this 3 inches below the rim of the bucket, which just happens to be exactly to the bottom of this edge here. So when you're measuring, the distance between here and here is exactly 3 inches. So I'm going to make sure that when I'm setting this unit down inside of the bucket, I'm going to set it so that the height of this sprinkler is set at 3 inches below the top. Because the whole point of this demonstration is to show you how the KAP-IT riser works. So we're going to purposefully create a situation where the head is buried. Then come March 30th, when we go to demonstrate how this works, we're going to raise our sprinklers by capping it. And this right here is the KAP-IT product. This is a 2-pack, so you get 2 risers. Each one is 1.5 inches tall. So with a 2-pack, you could raise your sprinklers as high as 3 inches. And then included with this are 2 riser stems. So that's what they look like right here. I'm going to start assembling this so you can kind of see how this is going to go together. We're going to snap those 2 together. And then what you need to do is basically remove the nozzle from your sprinkler head and then basically add the 2 riser sections. Let that fall back down. And then you're going to cap it. So you're going to just let the caps ride over top of the riser sections, snap it in place, and then just put your nozzle back on. Drop that down, thread it on, pull it up, make sure it's tight. And that's how this whole assembly is going to look when it's all said and done. We're not going to put the KAP-IT riser on today. Again, that's going to be done on March 30th when we do the KAP-IT Bucket Challenge. But to prepare me for this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a plastic cup. We're going to bury this sprinkler 3 inches down, like I said, which is going to be right to the bottom of this rim here on the bucket. And we're going to fill up the bucket. I'm going to use a combination of stone and soil. The stone is really going to be used to just take up some space and make sure that this sprinkler head kind of is steady and in place and won't move on us. Then I'll put down a layer of plastic followed by the garden soil. And as I'm filling the bucket up with soil, we'll put a cup over top of the head of the sprinkler so that we can backfill around the sprinkler head, creating that buried condition. And then on March 30th, we lift the cup out, put the KAP-IT on, raise our sprinklers, and complete the demonstration for you. All right, so to get started, we're going to start by drilling a hole into the bucket. I'm going to be using my safety glasses for safety. And I actually have a spade bit here. This is 1 1/8. And we're going to just go right to the bottom of the bucket here. You don't want to, you only want to cut to the inside of the bucket here, but you do not want to penetrate the very, very bottom. So you got to just feel for that. Press this in. There we go. And we're in. All right, so there you go. That's what that's going to look like. We're going to have that hole in there, and that's basically going to receive the pipe for our build. All right, next up, we're going to start fitting everything together. I had it all fitted together earlier, but just to show you how it all goes together here, that's my elbow with the threaded adapter, and this is my sprinkler with my extension piece here. The NPT threads are pretty good and watertight if you get them pretty tight. If need be, you could put some tape on it, like the white PTFT tape. You could also use the pipe cement for that, but I won't be doing that here. Get that all good and tight, nice and snug. All right, so then what we're going to do here is we're going to make this pipe connection like so, where we put the pipe inside the bucket and have it meet up with the 90-degree bend, and then we're going to glue that together. So what we'll need is some primer. And then the cement. Look at this stuff. This stuff cures pretty quickly, so you got to work fast with this. Put this inside here. Make the connection. You got to hold it together for a couple seconds. And then that bond is complete. And then what I'm going to do here is just fill this up with some rocks. I got some rocks here. These are some big rocks. In my last build, I had small pebbles. But these will be fine. I'll just start placing a few down at the bottom to get this thing set upright in the right direction. Here's what it looks like with the rocks in it, so you can see. All right, so now that we have our rocks in the bucket, we're just going to put a little bit of what I would call separation fabric. I'm going to use plastic here to really just separate the rocks from the soil. If you want to fill it all the way up with soil, you can do that too. I just prefer not to fill it with soil, but you could certainly do that. I also think that the rocks do a better job of holding the sprinkler in place so it doesn't move around on you. So yeah, I just cut up a piece of plastic here from a trash bag, cut a hole in the middle, and we're just going to place this over top, like so. Spread it out, and that way we get a little bit of separation between the soil and the rocks. And then it's going to be time to put our soil in. Again, like I said earlier, I'm just using some generic garden soil here. Let me grab a knife and we'll start putting that in. Alright, so just remember, we're trying to create this buried condition. We have this head purposefully set 3 inches below the top of the bucket here. I'm just going to place a cup over top, and as we start filling up the bucket, I'll pull the cup up and kind of just let it sit just below the top of the sprinkler head. And we'll just let it sit there until March 30th, until it's time to basically pop this out and then put the KAP-IT risers on. All right, let's fill this up. Bring that up. And then I'm just going to leave a little bit of room at the top here. I'm not going all the way to the rim with the dirt. I'm going to be putting some potted plants in here. So the soil from the potted plants will really fill up the rest of this. So I'm gonna hold it there for now. And that's all there is to it. This is how you create the bucket for the KA Bucket Challenge. Founded by dad and entrepreneur KJ Ketterling, KA tools are available nationwide at the Home Depot. It is so easy to use that anyone can raise their sprinklers or rotors out of the ground with no prior experience needed. I hope you enjoyed this video, and we hope to see you on March 30th for the KA Bucket Challenge. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you for joining.